What's on your mind today? What's in your heart today? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Someone in another chat was talking about or posted about an experience where somebody was just being mean and nasty and posting horrible things. And it was just discriminatory. And when we see this and when we connect to it and when we interact with it, I feel it's very helpful to really, really, really understand where it comes from. To be fully aware of the entire context. So we can say, okay, they're being nasty. They're posting and saying, you're rubbish, you useless, you're no good, you're terrible, whatever, something horrible of that nature. I mean, I'm abstracting. I mean, I might say it in a bit more specific ways, but this is the bottom line, right? They're putting somebody down, right? They're being nasty, horrible, mean, rude, whatever, right? And we see this with trolling a lot. All right, let me just share this with Norma. Here we go, Norma. Well, yeah, I like to share the link with Norma, then she can come directly. It's easier. It's easier. It's easier. All right, I'm here, Norma. I'm here. Brilliant. So now we look at this and we say, well, what is going on inside the trolls? What are they doing? What's their point? What's their purpose? What's in it for them? Yeah. And if we really think about it, why are people mean and nasty and horrible to others? Why? Where's the benefit in it? There's always a benefit somewhere. It's always a payoff. That's what I call it, a payoff, right? Because a payoff it has that implication of something not quite being on the up and up, but you get some reward for it. Well, that's exactly how it is, with trolling, a payoff to it. It's very important to understand this, very useful as well. So if we take this and we understand, okay, they're being mean, nasty, rude, horrible. What's the payoff? The payoff is this belief, right? This perception of superiority. Okay? Because the superiority paradigm says that you have to have position in the hierarchy, right? You have to. Yeah, this is like life or death situation. Well, and way back when, it was a life or death situation, but it no longer is, right? But the legacy belief is there that if you're at the bottom of the pecking order, you can literally die. Well, that happens with animals. Like if you're the lion at the very bottom and all the lions feed and you the last one and there's no food left, well, you go hungry. And sometimes those do die. Yes, it happens. It happens, especially if, things aren't that plentiful, right? So being at the bottom of the pecking order absolutely sucks. Now, of course, for the entire lions, it sucks that they have a pecking order. If they learn to cooperate, they'll kill more food. But of course, the logic is so short-sighted. The alpha lion says, I'm hungry and let's go hunt. Okay, off they go. They kill, and literally he gets the lion's share. This is where this term comes from. The alpha lion eats first, and he eats his fill, and he eats the nicest stuff. He eats the most nutritious stuff, and the rich get richer, essentially, right? And then the rest have to fight over what's coming next, right? Well, he has to also kind of fight for it sometimes because he's always being challenged in his position. So it's not all that rosy up there either. And as they go along, they fight for it. But now alpha lion is full. Okay, it doesn't matter if they killed some small thing and it's not enough to feed the tribe. Well, too bad. That's their problem, right? This mindset is a me only. That's it. Me only, me first mindset, right? And it goes all the way through the whole tribe of lions, right? Or pride of lions. Yeah, it's a funny word that you call them a pride of lions because they're so ridiculously prideful and that they're stupid. Yeah. So, of course, if they learn to cooperate and collaborate, they say, well, fine, let's kill one. It's not enough. Let's kill another one. And until everybody's more than well fed, and there you go. Yeah. Cooperation, collaboration. Now, Can't do it. Can't do it. They're too selfish. They're too inside themselves. Right? It's only me now. Limited awareness. Terrible thing, limited awareness. Absolutely terrible. And the most successful hunters in Africa are the African wild dogs. They're very big, very small compared to a lion. They're like kind of half the size of a hyena even, and a hyena is like, I don't know, less than half the size of a lion. So they're small, relatively, right? It's like a dog, typical dog size. They cooperate, they collaborate, you know, and they can delay. They'll take food to the babysitters and stuff like this, right? Very sophisticated. And of course, if you look at civilization, civilization is all about collaboration, not just cooperation, but collaboration. That's exactly what civilization is, collaboration. Because through collaboration, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 equal more, right? So where you're leveraging, you're maximizing, right? You're getting more coming out of it. Yeah. Are you here? Are you here, Norma? Let me see. I haven't finished the sharing and all that yet, so I haven't seen if you're here. But if you are here, hello, Norma. Hello. So now I'm talking about this logic of the superiority paradigm. It's all about dominance, all about your position in the hierarchy. So how does this work in the actuality? It works that in order to get higher in the hierarchy, you have to pull down whoever's above you, right? You have to pull them down, get above them, claw above them. Yes, that's how the system works. Or you, or not or, and at the same time, hello, Norma, gorgeous. Hello, Norma, wonderfulness. At the same time, you've got to make sure those underneath you don't pull you down. So you have to keep them down and suppressed, right? You have to keep pushing them down, right? Be dominating over them. That's it. It's all about dominance. So you don't want to get dominated by those above. So you suck up to them and, you know, you roll on your back and lie, okay, you're wonderful, and you praise them and you lick their butts and you do whatever, right? I mean, that's where the term comes from, right? It's sometimes a literal thing. So, yeah, it's horrible. Anyway, but that's the system. You suck up to those above you so that they don't bully and push you down, and you bully and push those below you down, and force them to suck up to you, right? Because now this is, the more they suck up, the more they get into that pattern, and you establish your hierarchy. That's a horrible system. It's really horrible. Everybody, you see on these memes on Facebook, you see it all the time. People want to be wolves and lions and God knows what all. They all want to be predators. Yeah, well, that's the system that you're going to live in. So good luck to you. You know, I really wish there was like a VR or something that you could, like, you know, put a chip in somebody's brain and you transplant their consciousness into a lion or a wolf. Those people will be screaming within an hour to be out of there. Yeah, it'll be an absolute horrible experience. But we have similar in our lives. I mean, if you think back to like school, a lot of schools have this super hierarchy, clickiness, bullying, dominance, and, you know, workplaces. It's the system. It's our paradigm. So now you get somebody who says, well, wait a second, you know, physical bullying, yes, I could get away with it at school because I was a minor and, you know, people didn't file a police report against me. I didn't go to court and, you know, and get, you know, get arrested for assault, which really is what bullying is. If children were arrested for assault, bullying is going to get kissed goodbye very, very quickly, right? That's it. You know, parents don't want their kids being arrested for assault. So, you know, any bully goes and smacks another child, steals their lunch money or whatever, their lunch, that's assault. That's it. End of story. You know, if I was in school now, I would have no bullying. I was very strategic in avoiding bullying, but it was a huge deal. I'd simply now, today, especially with the cell phone, you know, put on the video, record them and say, yeah, I'm going to go report you. And I'll go right away. You do it once. You have to go down to the police station one time and report the bully for assault. That word's going to spread really quickly. Nobody else is going to come and mess with you. It's very simple, right? At least the way I know bullies, they want to take the easy pickings. And if there's no easy pickings, then they don't have, they're weak, they're cowardly, you know, so they have nowhere to go. Right, so eliminate the opportunity for it. But anyway, that's a different story. So I'm making the point, though, that as people get older and they still want this dominance and they can't do it physically, they find other ways to do it. And this is where mean and nasty and rude and horrible comes from. And of course, this is where internet trolling went crazy, because If you mean and nasty in the workplace, right, or in the home, people give you pushback and say, come on, and they start ostracizing you. They don't want to know anything about you, and you don't get anything out of it, right? And so you really kind of lose out in a physical sense, right? Or they may start really giving you stuff back in your face too. They may even get physical with you, right? Depending on the workplace or the home environment or, wherever you are. But as a troll online, oh man, you safely sitting there in your home over the internet. Nobody can touch you. You're anonymous. And now you can go and put people down and be all horrible and feel almighty and superior. The point is that I want to really make here is that I really feel sorry for these people. Why? Because so many of them aren't actually really wanting to be nasty or rude. You say, yeah, but that's what they're doing deliberately. Yes, but that's not the deep motivation. The deep motivation is them conforming to the should of society, the should of the superiority paradigm that says you should be doing this hierarchy stuff. So they're just being good citizens as they see it, as they understand it. The problem is not their actions. Their problem is their misguided motivations, this belief, this conception. Now, let's take this a little bit more in detail here. Let's get a bit more discerning on it, right? And we say, oh, wait a second, let's get some real discernment on this. And we start to understand that when you look at things like win, everybody tells you got to be a winner. You got to be a winner. Winning is everything. Yay, I won. Yay, I won. Look, we won. Constantly, day in, day out, you're getting these subtle reminders and messages to be a winner, win, win, win. Winning is everything. Winning is fantastic. Winning is awesome. Well, if you don't have any particular skills or talents, right, you're just a mediocre person. Well, winning, you ain't going to be winning. You're the one who's always going to be losing. So now you got to find a way to win. So there you go. I'm winning over you. See, I put you down. You lost. I won. How sad is this? How absolutely horrendously, terrifically, pathetically sad is this? Yeah, that people are trying to be good in this perverted, ridiculous way because good has been perverted. Dominance, be dominant, be a conqueror, blah, 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 right? Alexander the great conqueror, is the greatest bloody criminal. It was horrible. It was like a real massive, huge, big criminal. He had no justification for any of that. No, but he's seen in history as great. No, it's not. Conquering is not great. Conquering is criminal. If you try and conquer today and do what Alexander did, you'll be basically, doing what Putin is doing. That's absurd. It's horrible. It's terrible, right? Criminal. You're destroying people's lives, killing people for what? For your own vainglory. How absolutely horrendously pathetic is this? But yet society keeps putting this out. You watch movies about these great heroes and all this, right? Doing all this ridiculous stuff. Plus all this win, 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 win. If you're going to be a winner in life, doesn't that mean you're going to go around making everybody, if you truly are a winner, like you, the winner in the world, you're going to make everybody else a loser, no? Thank you very much. You can have it. I have no interest in making anybody a loser. And for those who might just say, yeah, well, that's easy to say. You probably never won anything in your life, so it's just an excuse to say, no, I was plenty a winner in my youth and national championships and whatever I did, pretty much, So I have plenty experience in winning. And I also understand winning is a contextually relative thing. I really understood this, to be the little fish in a small pond, quite literally, is to sail on a lake, inland lake. Small, it's not a very big lake, but still big enough to sail on. At any rate, and I won every trophy there could be. But so what? It was against poor competition. Sailing as clueless people who don't know what they were doing in terms of sailing. Didn't make me necessarily a particularly expert sailor. All right, I did make an effort to be a good sailor, and I actually was objectively, but it's still relative, right? So winning doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean that if you win in something that you actually have real skill. Yeah. I mean, I know people are so hung up on winning, they play games with little children in order to win. Because when they play with their peers, they just They're foolish, they're silly, they're greedy, they don't think, so they have all bad character, which causes them to lose all the time, and then they get all frustrated, and of course, it starts feeding on itself. Now they're going to play with little children. I mean, really, like 2, 3, 4-year, 5-year-old children, they play Monopoly against them or whatever. Kids don't even really understand the rules or nothing. Oh, but I won. It's pathetic. It's absurd. And of course, this gets exploited in the world around us. eBay is fantastic at this. Yeah. You win an auction. I had an employee one day who came into the store, and I've told the story before, but I'm going to share it again. Right? And they said, I won. Oh my God. And he was so excited. I mean, it was the most excited I've ever seen anybody. I can't share that level of excitement. I won. We all thought he'd won the lottery or something. Well, what did you win? Did you win the lottery? That we really thought this was it, right? He said, no, I won my auction on eBay. Holy moly, dude. Are you serious? I said, oh, you mean you're the one who actually paid the most? Yeah, but I won. You were the one who overpaid the most for the item. Yes, but I won. It didn't matter to him that he had overpaid for the item. I was kind of teasing him, because sometimes that was in the early days of eBay where there were lots of competitive auctions. And people typically ended up overpaying because their egos got the better of them, like in this case, right? So the fact that he was excited about winning, he would have paid whatever in order to win, which, okay, he substantially overpaid. But he was so thrilled at winning. He really felt like a winner because he won. I mean, the patheticness of it is just off the charts. My point is, I'm not holding him at fault. The system, the superiority system. He'd been taught every single day of his life, be a winner, dominate over people, be a winner. That's what it is, right? Doesn't matter what it takes. Winning is everything. There's no such thing as second place, blah, blah, blah. Right? And of course, in this winning is everything, people lose their ethics. Because if winning is everything, it's whatever it takes. Whatever it takes means, you start not taking care of the law and ethics and stuff like that, right? So you do whatever and you become completely unscrupulous. It's horrible. So now, putting people down, being rude, being mean, being horrible, cheating them, lying to them. I get, I don't know how many dozens of things where people are, scams a day, like posting in the group. And when I sell stuff online too, they say, oh, can I call you? Because they want your phone number and there's some scan involved. I have to be constantly on the lookout for this. But these are sad, pathetic people, in other words, who think this is them winning. It's really horrible, no? So we want to understand this. And when we do understand, we have compassion for those people, even though they're doing horrible things. Yes? This is the key here. This is where I'm going to. This is the point of my share. Right? It came up in another group. And I'm really keen to share this, to understand, because when we do, we don't combat, we don't need to fight these people. We don't need to think they're pathetic or horrible or mean or nasty. Yes, their behavior is such, but they're caught in a trap. They don't know any better. It's just sad, right? So we have compassion because we understand. Yes, compassion is based on a sympathy, an empathy, a sadness, but it's based on understanding. Yes, so compassion at core is a particular type of an understanding. And it's crucial that we can get to that, because otherwise we are afflicted, and I use this word deliberately, we are afflicted by the horribleness in the world. But that horribleness is stemming from unawareness, and even worse, it's tragic because it's stemming from people trying to do what they think they should do. And when you're trying to do what you should do, you're trying to be good, aren't you? And you're making an effort to do what you should do, or you're not making an effort to be good? Yes, you are. So here we get misguided goodness. It's really sad. It's really, really, really sad. It's beyond sad. It's tragic, yeah? So we want to really, really pay attention to this, to really understand the superiority paradigm and how it works. Not because it's going to make us depressed or down, which it could do, No, because it's going to lead to compassion and true capital U understanding. And when we understand, then we start to have that freedom from the necessity of feeling in particular ways. Yes, like rudeness. We've been taught, well, rudeness is bad. You must feel horrible about it, or meanness or nastiness. You must feel horrible about it. When we understand, I can let that stuff, it just comes and washes right past me, because I understand you're being misguided. I understand you don't know what you're doing really. You're trying to be good. You're being foolish. But you don't mean to be foolish. It's just sad and tragic. Yes. Hello, Sarah. Wonderful, wonderful. So, Sarah, were you listening in on? Did you hear most of my share on the superiority paradigm and how it affects people's behavior and the motivations? You know, why they are mean and nasty and horrible. You know, and for the rest, why they do even criminal behavior, or not even including criminal behavior. I'm keen to hear your comments. So I'm glad to hear, Sarah. I'm glad to hear. How are you? How are things with you? I know things are good with Norma. I know things are good with Norma. Norma's beautiful heart is shining inside her there, giving her joy. She's loving the world and loving things. So I was chatting to Norma earlier. That's why I know. Are you good? This is fantastic to hear. Oh, this makes me happy. This is really wonderful. Sorry, I don't know if the yes is on hearing what I was sharing about the superiority paradigm and the motivations of people, motivations, in other words, why they do horrible things, thinking that it's, should. So I'm keen. I'm not sure, or were you responding to that? Things are good with you. I'm maybe both. I don't know. I need more specifics, Sarah. I need more specifics. Anyway, it's a very interesting topic, and it's a very important topic, I feel, to understand, to really be aware. Yes. Oh, very, very important. Very, very critical. Yeah. Dang it. I forgot to put on the recording there. So understanding the superiority paradigm and how it affects people, they belief that they have to dominate and push people down and suck up to people above them, sabotage people above them to pull them down to get higher, and that they have to win, doesn't matter at what cost. They have to win, otherwise your life sucks, you're terrible, you're a loser, the world is coming to an end, etc. This causes people to engage in these types of behaviors, mean, nasty, criminal behaviors, because that's the way they get ahead. They don't have the abilities to do in a normal way, or at least they don't think they have, right? So part of that mindset is you do whatever and shortcut and, the quickest, easiest way. This is all part of that psychology. So you if you can find a shortcut, wow, you're the champion, you're the best. Yeah. Oh, sure. All right. I'll send you the link in a second. This is fantastic. One moment. That's great. That's great, Sarah. That's great. Yeah, I always like it when people come hang out on Zoom. I was just going to put it in the chat. Chat. Is Ramsey here too? I didn't see Ramsey. Where's Ramsey? Ramsey came yesterday on Zoom, which was great. So I didn't see Ramsey. Where did you see Ramsey, Norma? Huh. All right. Well, I just trust. So brilliant. There's the link. A lot of people don't want to put their Zoom links in because they're afraid people will just come on Zoom and, kind of inappropriately come. I don't even find people coming when it's appropriate. They seem to be a bit scared of coming on Zoom. So to all those people who are scared of sharing your Zoom link, don't be. It's a non-issue. There we go. So Sarah's, yeah. Wonderful. So anybody else who's listening, click on that link and come and join. Oh, yes, Ramsey. Hello, Ramsey. Norma was psychic. She said hello to you, Ramsey, before you came on. Hello, Ramsey. That's fantastic. Hey, Sarah. Sarah's connecting to audio. There she is. She's connected. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. We've changed it. We say good morning. Anyway, you don't have to, of course.
Good morning.
Yeah, isn't that just fun? Lisa started this. I said, but, because we're always talking about moreness, it's such a deep philosophy that's part of the story, part of, the A+ philosophy that I have that's underlies the way of impeccability and everything. It's a moreness philosophy. So, hey, good moreness seems most appropriate. There we go. Hello, Ramsey. Good moreness to you as well. So you've been good? Yes, Sarah?
Yes, I've been good. I took a couple of weeks to hike the backcountry with my dog in southern Utah before it got really hot.
Wow, a couple of weeks. That's fantastic that you're able to do that.
Thank you.
I mean, both physically and, just circumstance-wise. A lot of people would love to take a couple of weeks off to go hiking, but they're not able to always, right?
Right.
So that's fantastic. Oh, that's marvelous. And anything that came to you from that hike in terms of new awareness, new understandings, new ways of feeling, new ways of being, new ways of holding yourself physically? I have a lot of specific questions.
I just noticed the commentary on what you were saying before, and that's why I asked for the link.
Oh, good. Okay.
I am working on my yoga teacher training after being an activist on the front lines for the homeless situation in Salt Lake City.
Oh, good.
And watching things be done by the activists, all the arguing and all the upset, and
there you go.
Having to step away because it was just too much drama.
Yeah.
And I felt like my 2 years of service were enough.
Interesting.
And I always carry in my back pocket the concept of kindness.
Yes.
And the willingness to help where I can. But the concept also comes up of overgiving in order to compensate.
Got to be very careful of that. Yes. Exactly. So all right, go ahead.
Can't really see because I can't find my glasses right now, but
that's all good. That's all good.
I just wanted, a lot of difficult emotions surface while helping with the homeless.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
And the amount of grief and things that I've been through that I could relate to and see where they were stuck without resources.
Yes. And now let's get into the superiority paradigm that I was talking about, right? So first of all, let me just clarify against what the superiority paradigm is. First of all, it's a paradigm, which means it exists all around us, right? It's like pervasive. It's almost always there, right? That's what paradigm means. So it's a behavior pattern, a circumstance, something that dominates. And superiority is the issue. This is the key part of this paradigm, which says you must be superior. You must be superior. You must. That's it. You can't be anything else but superior. This is what you have to. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you should do. Right? Because it comes from animal hierarchies, like lions I was using as an example, right? And the higher you are up in the hierarchy, the better you get to eat and all of this stuff, right? So if you're at the bottom of that pile, you may literally go hungry and starve and die. So there was a very real logic to it. But of course, the sad part of it is that whole lion society is founded on essentially narcissism, because the alpha lion says, I'm hungry, let's go and eat,
It comes up yesterday with the 4th of July celebrating the independence of our country and the Declaration of Independence. But is it really, when we are built on a nation of what comes up? Slave trafficking, human trafficking,
All superiority paradigm things.
Yes.
So I want to
And
make the point.
native
Oh, go ahead.
tributary, the damage that we have done to our native
Exactly.
people.
Exactly. So it's all part of the superiority, because the superiority paradigm says anything goes as long as you are superior. So winning is everything, right? Being superior, winning, same thing. Yeah. As long as you're winning, it doesn't matter what you do. And so the superiority paradigm has no morality.
I
This is very
agree.
important to understand. It
Yeah.
has no morality. Now, the problem is, of course, that there are morals and stuff does come in, so it's a little bit sublimated, and it's not, you're not saying, well, I'm looking to be superior. So, oh no, I'm trying to be a winner. I'm looking to get ahead. I want to be successful. Blah blah.
Yeah.
Those are all just synonyms for being superior, right? Now, though, yes, it causes lots of problems, because, of course, people do whatever they can to get ahead and win, and they hide it because they know they shouldn't, they're not supposed to, and so on. But yes, I want to tie it into your homeless people, right? And somebody's homeless and they're getting help. When you come and give them help, automatically now this is you being superior to them, and they feel inferior, so they
Yes.
don't want your help.
Well,
They'll take it, but they'll take it, but they resent getting it, because it makes them feel like rubbish and nothing.
true.
So it's a problem.
So,
There's conflict, in other words.
it is. Last year I got robbed from helping a homeless girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And look at that
and
robbing.
I had to let it go.
Yeah, because that robbing is her looking to seek dominance over you.
But this
That's
is
the bottom line. It's the
where I
bottom
could
line.
require some coaching around this piece. Like, okay,
Yeah.
what does it look like? What comes up for me are just a level, a deep sadness,
Yeah.
and complex emotions, which is where I ended up in yoga.
Yeah.
Like, how do I deal with this?
Right.
Yoga is a solid answer.
So I want to share something really profound when it comes to helping.
Yeah.
Helping so often is inadvertent arrogance.
Yes.
We think we know what others want. And of course, they're going to resent that. So that's, again, superiority. Yes. However, let's say we genuinely do want to help. If we genuinely do want to help, the only thing we can really do is share choices and options.
Right.
That's the only thing we can do, because otherwise you're being arrogant. So this is the only real help we can do. And also, when it comes to helping, we have to be aware of a very profound concept. And that concept is, and I would really recommend you write it down, inappropriate application of goodness.
Here it is, though. When you're on a team and you're out there feeding people every weekend, the desperation due to our cold climate and hot climates pushed people to do things that I don't think that they would normally do.
Yes. Desperation is a terrible disease.
Yeah.
It's a terrible disease. It's a disease of futility. It's a horrible disease. It's really horrible. So yeah. So when we look at desperation, all sorts of ridiculousness comes from desperation. So really, don't be desperate, people. Sometimes you're desperate. It's a physical desperation, but people get desperate when it comes to relationships and things like that. And they get desperate in the context of the superiority paradigm, because they think they're at the bottom and they start to get desperate, and then they do all sorts of ridiculous stuff, like robbing
they
people who
started
are helping
fighting.
them.
The group started fighting, and that's when I walked away.
Exactly.
Because I didn't agree with the superiority weirdness.
Exactly. And that's why they started to fight. Even though they're helping, they still have to have hierarchy in, I'm the best helper, all this nonsense. It's a superiority paradigm ruining the whole deal. It's a disease. It's a cancer. Superiority is a cancer.
Thank you.
A massive, massive cancer. But yes, the point I was getting, though, at the start of this, I went through a whole long explanation of it for the purpose of saying, why do we want to understand the superiority paradigm? Because if we truly, truly understand, we can get to compassion.
Yes.
And now I'm free
what's
from
underneath
feeling
compassion?
Understanding is what's underneath compassion.
Okay.
It's a particular type of an understanding. It is the understanding that things are tragic or sad or unpleasant or horrible, but there's a sensible, or not a sensible, but there's a logical reason, a rational reason for it. Like in this case, that girl who robbed you, she was doing it out of the superiority paradigm nonsense, right? To balance that. Okay, it's horrible what you did, but I understand it, so I
Yeah.
don't have to get wiped out by it. When we
Okay.
don't understand, that's when we get bothered. That's when we get stressed, when we don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
and I
all I
went
can
through
do
that
is
phase, and
exactly.
it's a process.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a big process. But then when we really, really understand, there's nothing to forgive, for one. Number two, because I understand, I'm not now caught up in the negative emotionality, which is me struggling with stuff that it shouldn't be, it mustn't be, all the stuff. When I understand, well, I get it, right? So where's my conflicted emotionality? When we're
Then I'm
upset,
doing a good job. I'm doing a good job.
exactly, you are.
Okay.
Understand
Okay.
it. Just understand it. Understand that people are trying to be good in a really messed up way. I mean, I'm
And a
saying messed
very
up in
difficult situation. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
but they think they think that what they should do is be superior. So they do all this horrible stuff, be mean, nasty, rob, steal, cheat,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Because they should, because they don't want to be at the bottom of the pile, right? Whereas
Put each
they just
other
said,
down, fight. Yeah.
exactly. They're all
Okay.
doing what they think they should do, and they don't realize this. And that's the sad tragedy of it. They are, in other words, mismotivated. The
Yeah.
problem
And
is not,
yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
not that they have inherently good. Because if you're doing what you think you should do, you're acting on deep inside goodness. But the should is corrupted, and there's the problem,
And
right?
that's what I
This
saw, and that's why I walked away.
exactly, and this is
Okay.
very, very important to understand that our societal should is corrupted. Yeah.
Yep.
When our
Yep. Yep.
societal should
Yep.
says you must be dominant, you must, have hierarchy, you must push those down below you, you must pull those down from above you. This is what the should says you must do. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. It's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
this is animal behavior, and it's not even all animals, right? Just some predators that's been taken over. And of course, the ones who perpetuate this the most are the narcissists. Why? Because they're the most insecure. The more
Okay.
insecure you are, the more you have a need to be dominant and superior, correct? Because you're afraid, and you know that you're hollow. So if the truth comes out, and then you're definitely going to be at the bottom of the pile. You've got nothing to offer. What do narcissists have to offer? And I call them BMNs, bullshit manipulator narcissists. What do they have to offer? Nothing.
Nothing.
They're hollow inside because all their lives have gone to bullshit and dominance and games and all this petty rubbish. So they know they're hollow. That's why they play those games, because if they had to be exposed for what they are, there would be nothing. And in their system, this is the end of the world. This is the most horrible, terrible thing. Whereas, in the paradigm that this is why I'm doing these lives, reading the story of the book and everything, it's because I'm showing an alternative paradigm. One where there isn't this competitiveness. There's no fighting. We're not trying to have hierarchy and establish. There's no comparison. I don't care what you are in terms of what you have. To me, everybody has that deep intent to goodness. That's all that's necessary. And, even that girl who robbed you has an intent to goodness. It was just poorly applied. It was absurdly applied. It was inappropriately applied. And that's just tragic. It doesn't go to her deep motivation. She was doing what she thinks she should do. So she's just misguided. How can I
Yeah.
hold that against her?
You can't.
I mean, I don't like what she does when
No,
people
I
do
didn't
the
like
stuff.
what she did.
But see,
But in
that's
the
two separate
end,
things, though. Right.
can I get over
Yeah.
it? Yes.
Of
Am
course I
I
can,
over it?
because I
I'm over
understand
it
it.
now.
I understand it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though, right? If you're going to be upset at the lion for wanting to eat you, then that's your issue, not the lion's issue. The lion is simply doing what lions do. And that girl was acting in her capacity as a lion or a hyena or whatever, right?
Okay.
So you see my point? When you think of it that way, I can't resent the lion for wanting to eat me. It's what the lion does,
Yeah.
So when people are in that lion mindset, or hyena mindset, this is it. They do what they think they should do, and you can't
Yeah.
hold that against them. It's really sad. I don't like it, and I get out of the way of the line, and I'll take strategic measures to deal with the line.
Right.
I don't resent it, and that's important. This is why I'm sharing about the superiority paradigm, so that we can get away from resentment. We cannot resent this because, yes, it's
It's taken a
unfortunate that
lot
it's
of
this way, but I
work.
can't resent it. Oh, I know it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. But it's worthwhile work, though, because once you really think this through to the end and come to capital R resolution, then
Yeah.
you're free for the rest of your life, because now you get it. Yes, you may have to watch your habits, the old habits of being resentful and hurt and angry and upset and, feeling, oh, it's personal and all this nonsense. That's going to come up because habits they die hard habits. They don't want to go away, right? But that's just habit now you got to deal with. But once you really understand, then it makes that habits a lot easier. Right, because the moment it comes up, yes, oh yeah, okay, and then you get it. So, and then you can shift to being truly understanding, and part of that understanding says, if I'm going to be dealing with lions, understanding is not enough. I also need strategy. Correct?
Yes. And so I went to yoga to
There you
to
go.
learn how to
Strategy.
process it.
Strategy.
Really
Strategy.
somatically, like,
Yes.
okay,
Right. So
I
now
can do this in a peaceful way.
this is very interesting. This came up in my conversation with Norma earlier today. And yoga, it gets a little lost. Yoga's become physical exercise in the West. But
Well,
yoga,
unless you're doing Ashtanga and following the sutras.
right. Well, I'm just saying in general, right? Because
Okay.
I'm also sharing my comments, not just for you, but for everybody who's listening,
Fair.
right? Because a lot of people catch on replay. So now yoga isn't just physical exercise. It's a philosophical system of which the physical postures were there for the purposes of exemplification of being of a particular mindset, conception, attitude, awareness, etc. Okay. So the physical postures are one of the assisting is not the only mechanism for you to extend your awareness and your way of being. Hello, Bina. Hello, Bina. Hello, Bina. We'll say hello more in a moment. I just want to finish this point now. So if you think of yoga and you think of your need to change your beliefs, your attitudes, your mindsets, right? You can do this internally, but what makes it come back? Physical habit. So if you're in the habit of, let's say, being angry and well, sucks, people are mean, people are horrible, change your face, change your body, change your attitude. Yes. Practice the yoga of daily
The
yoga
mind.
living. In other words, look at your posture, your stance, and face. Those three: face, stance, posture. And you can add in walk if you want to get really sophisticated.
Yeah.
Right? Change your face. Change your physical face. Hold your jaw differently. What's the difference between aggression and upsetness and determination? Kind of the same, very slight difference in the muscles you use in your face, right?
You're pushing.
Right. But I mean,
to
it's determination.
Something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, determination is kind of a positive thing. I'm determined to do it. I'm angry to do this. It's the same, but there's a slight little tweak which makes all the difference. So what I'm trying to say is take the tensions in your body and repurpose them from something like stress and anger into something like determination or enthusiasm or whatever you want to, right?
Okay.
Repurpose the tension. Our bodies cannot exist without tension. They have to have it. Same like buildings, right? And it's actually an architectural name for that tension that needs to be there. It's called tensegrity, right? So when you look at this in your body, you have to have some kind of a tension. Like if you've ever been anesthetized, you know that your body don't really work very well when it's fully anesthetized, right? And tension is when you're not anesthetized.
Actually, they say though, if you're anesthetized, if you're under anesthesia, that your body actually will work better because there's no resistance.
Right, but when you can't function, you can't walk, is what I'm trying to say. Yes. True. So absolutely, we want to get rid of unnecessary tension and have necessary tension, right? So unnecessary tension is like anger, stress. Necessary tension is determination, eagerness, enthusiasm. See?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so repurpose the tension, and this is the point of yoga, or at least one of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can apply your yoga as a mood shifting mechanism.
Okay.
Let me say that again.
Yes.
You can use yoga or face and body and stance and posture, physicality, walking as a mood changing mechanism. And when you learn to do this, if you can learn to change your face, change your posture, change your stance in order to change your mood, you've acquired one of the most invaluable skills there is, which is the ability to choose your moods.
I'm in control of myself and my mind and my mood.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Now, let's get a little bit deeper into this, get a bit more sophisticated on this. We say, you know what, I feel stuff, and it's like, where did it come from? Right? Yes, Norma, why are we told not to judge? Because when we're judging, it's not about, well, there are two kinds of judging. The wrong kind of judging is just simply hierarchy and saying, you lower than me, I'm higher than you. But the right kind of judging is me deciding what's right and wrong for me.
Discernment.
Yeah, right. Discernment, in other words, correct. And also morality. Morality means I'm judging whether things are right or wrong or good or bad as I see it. The problem with that is don't impose your morality on others. Morality is a private issue. Ethics is a private issue. So yes. So this is the key, right? Learn to make it private, don't make it hierarchical. But what I was saying, though, about the ability to change your moods, it's a skill. And once we have this, it's profound. And I want to share one major point on that. Because sometimes we feel things that, but where did this come from? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling this way? Implies it's something I did, I chose. No, sometimes it's like if I'm sitting here and I smell something, I don't say, why am I smelling this way?
Yeah.
Right? The smell could come from outside of me. Same with emotions. Emotions are like smells. They don't just all emanate from you. They come from elsewhere. Yeah. Okay. So now the key is, if you just find yourself in a mood or an emotion that you don't wish to be in, the question to ask yourself is, why am I continuing to choose to feel this way? Two keywords: continuing to choose to feel this way. Hello. Ask yourself that question. Why am I continuing to choose to feel this way? You really ask it earnestly.
Well, then you get to the root and you can break down exactly what's happening and stop it.
Right. But even better, you don't even need to go to the root. You can just say, oh, why am I continuing to choose? Did I choose this?
No.
Well, no, not really. But I can choose my mood in the next second. Oh, well, so I don't want to choose that. Okay, no, I don't. I don't. So I choose my mood. That's the point of that, right? Is to remind yourself that you do have choice. It doesn't matter where it comes from, right? It's not like smells. I can't choose not to smell a smell, but I can choose not to feel a feeling that comes my way, right? So this is a very powerful thing. So choose how you feel, and just practice the ability to choose your feelings. And the sooner you learn that, the quicker your life changes. You're in charge. You're in charge. This myth, this belief that feelings get in.
Come on, phone. Still on freeze.
Yes, his network is freeze, but he will come soon. So, hello, Sarah.
Hi.
It's nice meeting you anyway. So he will come back. It's a very interesting pause.
Right in the middle of like his major point. Like I was like, you know what, this is the perfect thing for coaching, like help. Yeah, like let's look at this.
Exactly. But this is very rare. What he was saying, that when first time I heard this, that I can choose my feelings and I can choose my mood, that was like, seriously, because the idea was that moods are of just a reflection of the circumstances.
Yeah, and I'm learning that through yoga right now.
Okay, and it is helping?
Yes.
That's good, really. Because for me, it was like, no, I must feel sad because of the circumstances. Those circumstances or situations are demanding me to be sad. So this was like all the shoulds we have in our life. And for me, this idea was not getting into my mind, that how this can even be possible to choose my mood. Like, okay, things are going completely against, and I'm choosing something really positive. How it can be.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yes.
okay, no, then it will be like a hypocrisy, or like, okay, I will be lying with myself if I'm not doing this. So there were a lot of questions that just one concept actually just stir up in my mind, that how this can be possible, how it can
Yeah.
be impossible to choose my mood. Like, okay, if things are demanding me to be grumpy, okay, just I'm using this word grumpy here, but like, okay,
Yeah.
stress. In a stress, okay, things are not good. Things are going really bad, and okay, nothing is coming out positively, and still I can choose to be happy. For example, how it can be
Yeah.
possible? What can I feel happy about? Okay, a lot of questions, and then of course the question about my own understanding and my awareness, and of course my self honesty. Do I really feel this or not? Like, okay,
Yeah.
if I'm faking the happiness, am I going to be like, okay, cracking 5-inch smile from year to year, and then, okay, yes, I'm happy.
Not always.
So I was asking all sort of questions.
Right.
I did ask to Sil also that how this can be, like really honestly changing your mood and feeling it. And then it was a like whole discussion, a long discussion he has, and he shared a lot of perspective. And that was like, wow, it is possible without losing my self-honesty, without losing my understanding of situation, because I was just saying that, okay, when things are going wrong, I can be only stupid if I will be cheerful in those moments. And I was like, okay, no, things are going wrong. I need to feel worried about, I need to discern about those things. I need to be
Yeah.
and that was all truths we had. So when I shared that, I said, okay, either I would be like completely stupid, that okay, or things are not or oblivious about the situation, or
Yeah.
I would be lying to myself. That was the two only
And lying to yourself is pretty easy sometimes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was the idea. But then when he starts sharing things and we really go into detail, we really went into detail. That was like, oh my God, the whole completely new different paradigm, that how can you just keep your self-honesty intact and also your understanding and your awareness.
It's really hard to sometimes when difficult emotions surface.
Exactly. It is hard.
It is hard.
And like, I have a very personal incident. Like, I was on Zoom, and I had a news of a sudden death of a very close family member. It was sudden, and I was on Zoom. And that was, of course, what else could be that shocking for you? So I just said that, okay, sorry, I need to go because I heard this news. That was the
Yeah.
immediate response, and I just turned off my Zoom. And then, of course, to process the news, it took a time. Like, okay, for an hour, I was not believing that how this could be possible.
Right.
But then, of course, the realization kicked in, the situation and everything. But in those moments, and like after 2-3 hours, it was I was just processing all those things. I realized that even though it was shocking, but my intuition or my sixth sense or something inside me was aware of it. Even though it was shocking, but it's still something was there, because
I think it takes a while to get over the shock.
Exactly.
Depending on the complexity. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
and then you can get to the real emotions.
Exactly. And then when I get into the reality of it, that, okay, somehow I was aware that, and how I was aware. So first I was assuming that, okay, it is purely my intuition, but actually not, it's not only intuition, but it was my practicing of keeping every possibility open and clear in my mind, that the world is full of possibilities. When we say possibilities, we assume that it is going to be only nice and pleasureful and joyful things.
Right.
But actually possibilities are anything. So we have to be that discernment in our mind always, that possibilities are just possibility, neither negative or positive. And once we get aware of this, then we actually no shock can actually shock us.
Yeah.
We
That would
assume
be
that it is a
nice.
shock.
Yeah.
Yes. So, okay, Excel, thank you for coming back. And then congrats for coming back.
Oh, pleasure,
Sarah was
pleasure,
just saying, okay,
pleasure.
without having any
You know,
introduction, we just get into the
yeah,
discussion and keep the discussion on
yeah.
about what you were sharing. So please do share that, because you were right into that big point
Yes,
and you were
yes,
frozen.
yes. That's
And
all right.
Sarah
It
was
happens. It happens. You know, this is the magic of what we do. And this alternative paradigm. It's not the end of the world if somebody drops off. Bina, you just step in and continue. You know, we are free. We don't have all these restrictions of we have to do this, we have to do that, shoot, and all this stuff. No, we're free. We're free. So what I was going to share, Sarah, as an example of how physicality is connected to emotionality, is to think of somebody that you know fairly well or very well, and who you would like to know perhaps even better, whose walk you know well, right? And then imitate their walk. And I recommend doing this right now. Just walk around the room, walk like this person. And if you don't know somebody, take your parents, one of your parents, walk like them. Because we think we know our parents, but you're going to be surprised, right? Can you do that, Sarah?
Yes.
Walk. Do it right now. Just take a spin around the room there. We don't have to see you. Just do it on your own. No, I mean, just do it on your own. You turn off your camera. Yeah, turn off your camera, because this is a personal exercise, right? So feel it. Really get inside walking like that person. Yeah, you got to really get inside their walk, and you have to experiment at first a little bit, but a trial and error, and really get inside and walk like them for a little bitty.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
Give me a bit.
Oh yeah. Take your time. There's no hurry.
Okay.
Take your time. I need to get everything back set up and log in and everything. It's like, when I have to reboot it, it's a big rigmarole. It's a big rigmarole. It wasn't coming up when I just tried to repair the connection. And Norma, Ramsey, you guys can try this too. I highly recommend it. It's a very fascinating exercise. Very powerful. Very, very powerful exercise. All right. I'm going to log into Facebook again. I can't see the chat, the comments just yet, because I'm waiting to log in. So redo everything. There we go. Hello, Bina. Hello, Bina.
Hello.
Glad you came. I'm glad you came, Bina. I'm glad you came. That's wonderful.
No, I don't know what is happening, but somehow I'm having things just on time. And I need to take care of. I need to take care of. And I'm missing.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good that you're here and you came. You were just in time. Exactly. It was very perfect.
Yes.
What are Ramsey and Norma saying, or anybody else?
I'm going to just check. Yes.
Please. Oh, I'm glad to hear you sounding better too, Bina. Oh, it's good to hear you. It's good to hear you. It's good to hear. It was good hearing Ramsey yesterday too.
Oh yes. By the way, I must say that. Sorry, I missed that. I missed that opportunity. I never see you actually, Ramzi.
Yeah.
So that was something I saw you first time on Metlev's session. Okay, in his show. And then I was offline, and then Sil said that, okay, you will hear. By the way, I had the idea in my mind that you I don't know how to say that, like, you must be a very, very senior guy. Because the way you share your thoughts and things, so the perception in my mind was like, and of course it's a pleasure to.
Venus trying to say very politely that she thought you were old man.
I tried, but I
I like to tease Bina, but it's so beautiful.
No, but it was because of his thoughts, the maturity in his thoughts, in his sharing. That was, and I of course, you know that okay, I'm an old soul, and I love to be in the company of people who have this moreness. For me, they are not old people; they are more people. So that's
exactly.
So yes,
exactly.
People.
Exactly.
So that's why I assume that because of his sharing, that he is also like a more person. So that was the idea.
Exactly.
But I
Exactly.
really would love to hear his story about his book. And then of course, as
Oh
you
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, you know what? We can maybe do the second hour on Ramsey and Ramsey's book.
oh
How about
yes,
that?
well,
If
that
you
would
if
be
you
great.
if you have the time, all right. Let's hear from Sarah. Let's hear from Sarah. Sarah, did you get to walk? Whoever's walk, I'm very keen to hear this. I'm very keen to hear this. Where'd you go, Sarah? Where'd you go? Oh dear, Sarah's really getting immersed in this. Ah, that's brilliant. This is brilliant, Sarah. Oh, okay. That is there. That's there. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. You want to come, Ramsey, and we talk about your book for the second hour? That'd be fun.
I don't know. I don't see them online. Maybe it is my network. I need to refresh because I don't see online Norma. I don't see online Ramsey. So I
Oh,
will check.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought they're there. It's just I have to log in and I'll have to get the authenticator code, and when I have to reboot, it's just a little bit of a rigmarole. Well, too bad. I mean, I'm done now, so end of the world. Nothing's the end of the world, really, as we can see. Self-evident, right? I like self-evident things. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we'll catch up in a second. I'm keen to hear from Sarah. Where'd you go? You muted, Sarah, in case you're there and we're not hearing you. You're muted. I don't know if that's the thing or not.
I
Something
am
else. Oh,
here.
wonderful. What happened? What happened? Let's hear. Let's hear. How was your experience of
Well,
whose walk did you
honestly,
walk? Whose walk? Can you tell us? Or you
I'm
don't have
doing a
to. I'm
good
just curious.
friend of mine's
Oh,
walk,
good.
who's
Oh,
actually
good.
one of my housemates.
Brilliant. And
Um,
did you get some insight into your friend that you didn't have before?
um,
Did you get to feel them?
yes, because I'm eating his favorite food right now.
Oh, but they're in the walk though. When you walked his walk, did you get to feel him through his walk?
I feel his loneliness at times, but I
Exactly.
also
Exactly.
know that he is okay. He's actually okay
Yeah.
with himself.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So the point of that exercise was to illustrate how physicality is connected to emotionality. And we
Yeah.
can really feel others if we walk their walk. Now, as a note of caution here, right, this can be quite overwhelming if you pick somebody who's got lots of stuff going on inside them, yes? And your ability, that you have somewhat of an ability to feel stuff. And you kind of dead in feeling, then you won't feel them. But if you're feeling strongly, then you can feel very strongly, and it can be overwhelming. So just be cautious. But still, it's a way of knowing people that's very powerful. But the reason I said it is that we can use this mechanism of particular physical configurations to change how we feel. Yes. So physicality and feeling are very interrelated. So use your mind to change your body to change your feelings. Use your mind to change your feelings to change your body, right? All a triangle.
I
Right?
love it.
So very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. But the key is to realize that there is something you can do to change your mood, something physical you can do. It's not just saying, I want to be happy. Well, start taking on the physicality, the posture of being happy.
Right.
Walk a little lighter, drop your shoulders, relax your jaw, unsquint your eyes, stop frowning. It's very hard to be happy and frown at the same time. Try it. Next time you're happy and you're celebrating, just keep, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Yeah. So lots of fun. Last comment I saw is Norma's lion mindset, and then I think you had a comment where Norma said that Sarah's online. So there we go. I like them
going
glasses.
through phase of practicing smiling. Okay.
There you
Like
go. Exactly.
intentionally smiling.
Exactly. Right. So smile, then feel the smile, then have the feeling feed back into the smile. So here's the key with this. Because you'll see on the internet, you'll see people go on about smiling lots, right? It's like a big thing. Right? You know, just smile, like fake it till you make it. No, don't do that. If you're feeling not so fun and not so happy, don't go and put on a huge, great big smile. All you're going to do is feel false. The secret is try to put on the tiniest, smallest, most unnoticeable smile that you can possibly smile. Try that.
One of my biggest things is I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
Right. But I'm saying is
Like
if you're
everyone
upset and
knows
miserable.
when I'm upset.
Right.
Everyone knows
Right.
when I'm happy. Everyone
Right.
knows when I'm sad.
Right. So try it right now, right? Try and smile the small. You see, you can't do it. But here's the key though. See, when we are in a negative mood and we do that and you go, I'm happy. No, I'm just being false. I'm being phony.
Yeah, I
and
don't
that
like
doesn't
being
work.
fake. I have a really hard time being fake.
Right. So let me repeat the step here. So when you're in that space where you do want to change your mood, start with the smallest increment that you can possibly manage. Like it's actually very difficult to do. Like if you're all like, oh, world sucks, world's horrible, world's terrible. And then you make that tiny little smile, right? I'm going.
Yeah.
That tiniest little smile starts to change your mood and then it feeds on itself. But now the difference is that tiny little smile, because it takes so little to do it, and you sort of getting, well, you know, the difference between being all grumbly and a little less grumbly is like, it's sort of ridiculous. And then you're amused at that ridiculousness. Now that amusement feeds into the smile. And now you're amused at this tiny smile working. And you see what I'm saying? It's genuineness feeding on genuineness. And pretty soon it goes very quickly. But the key is to start with something genuine. Right, so to make that tiniest little possible smile, it's very hard to do actually, but it's quite amusing to do it too. It really leads to something, because also we don't to have that big your body says, man, I'm tired. I don't have the energy for this great big enthusiasm. But a little bit of it, that I can manage. I have a little bit of energy for a tiny smile. And then that tiny feeds on itself and it starts the motor running. And soon you got, now it's free energy that you're getting, but it starts with that tiny investment. Don't start with a major investment. That doesn't work. Yeah. Okay. Incremental change. It's the same thing as when we change our habits. People want to say, you know, I'm confident and I'm whatever. You're just lying to yourself. But if you were to say, you know what, I'm working on my confidence. Let's just say we take confidence, for example, or anger, we could say. I'm actually working on it. And you know what? I'm a little more confident today than I was yesterday. I'm a little less angry today than I was yesterday. Is that true? Well, yeah, that's actually true. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm a little less angry. Okay, this is working. Now, you're saying to your body, because you got like inner bureaucrats inside there. That's what I call them, right? Inside your brain somewhere. And they're bureaucrats. So they're like it's like accounting, right? It's got to be exact. Okay, that's true. And they can sign off on it. Yeah, you are a little less. Now, it may only be 0.001% less. They don't care. It's technically true. You are less. Right. So now, though, your brain says, oh, wait a second. You know, if I think back on day 2, what happened yesterday? I actually changed. I was a little less angry. I was a little more confident. Oh, if I can change, if I have changed, that means I can change, yes? Yes. And therefore, it means that likely I will change if I keep doing the same. So the moment we acknowledge that we've changed, we're starting a process, a progression. So each day I'm changing a little bit. But as it goes on, you say, wow, you know what? I really am getting more confident. And now you start to feel it. You know, I really feel confident. Now you can eventually to say, you know, it's like in anger. I can start to say, well, you know, I don't really feel angry anymore. Oh, I'm not trying to feel less angry. I've now actually succeeded and I don't really feel angry anymore. Now I can start feeling other things that I want to feel, confidence and joy and all that, right? But it starts small because it's going from truth to truth to truth to truth, which is why those affirmations do not work, because they just really BS and they make you feel like a liar and a phony. Yeah. So this is the way to use affirmations. Use them incrementally. Do something real like that you are working on something that's to make you a little less angry. Okay, you just held in your anger before you exploded for, let's say, a few seconds longer. Okay, good for you.
Yeah.
But tomorrow it may have been 2 seconds today. Tomorrow it's 5, and day after 10, and so on, right?
Yeah.
And pretty soon you're able to do it, right? This is incremental change is the way to change, because it's real.
It doesn't
It's
happen
real.
overnight because I'm
No.
actually working on this.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
it's
But
good, and then all of a sudden, boom. Yeah.
right now, too. Now we get sophisticated on this. If we understand the brain functions on emphasis. Emphasis is what changes the brain. So when
Okay.
I say, oh, I've got no more anger, I want to do the affirmations. Oh, just look in the mirror and say, I'm not an angry person anymore. Liar,
Right.
liar, liar. All you're doing is emphasizing that you're a liar. And so now you've got reverse negative emphasis.
No,
It's
I know I
counterproductive.
can be
right?
an angry
How-
person.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I'm just saying, I'm just using anger for example here. But now when I say, okay, I made some effort, I said, look, I studied the self-anger course or whatever, read a book on it, whatever. I'm just my intent to not be angry anymore.
Right.
Just my will to change it. Now I'm saying not being angry is important to me. Already your brain is changing. What am I going to do about it? Okay, I'm going to hold in my anger. I'm not going to. Okay, so I succeed in holding my anger. Okay, maybe I still explode, but I held it in for at least a bit. And I say, wow, you know what, brain? I really did succeed in actually, getting better with my anger. What are you doing? You emphasizing getting better about your anger. And tomorrow you keep doing this. And pretty soon you've retrained your brain to not think angry anymore, right? Because you've emphasized not doing so. It's a fantastic mechanism to utilize anger, utilize emphasis, whether it be anger, confidence, joy, whatever you want to do. And utilize the power of emphasis, because emphasis literally rewires the brain. It actually changes the brain nodes and the wiring between the nodes. It literally changes your brain, right? So emphasize appropriately. Staring into the mirror and just saying a lot of lies, that's inappropriate emphasis. But doing something and then focusing on the change, this is real. This is appropriate emphasis. And then you keep doing this. And if you do a bunch of changes in a row, now you've got pattern. Look, it's a pattern. And your brain loves pattern. Pattern is a proof of that. Wow, now you can get excited about pattern. It's more emphasis, you see, and it feeds on itself. So emphasis, ridiculously powerful. So this mechanism is very simple, but it's unbelievably profound for change. Unbelievably profound, because we're working with the body, with the psychology, with the brain, with the inner bureaucrats. If you've ever dealt with bureaucrats, you know you have to work with them. Work against bureaucrats, forget about it, right? You always lose, yeah? Yeah,
I've watched.
I mean, anybody who's been to the IRS or the DMV or whatever knows this, right? You got to work with the bureaucrats. You got to get them on your side. And here's the magic, though. When you really do get the bureaucrats on your side, they'll break all the rules in your favor. It's quite fascinating. It's quite fascinating. Yeah, it's very powerful things. Very, very powerful thing. Lots of magic. Bina, any comments? Yeah, the brain does like pattern. Exactly. The brain like
Yes.
Why, Norma? Why does the brain like pattern? Because the brain, like the whole body, is all about energy. That's why impeccability, first rule of energy is best, first rule of impeccability, first definition, first understanding, best use of energy. We like pattern because it saves us energy. If we can see the pattern of things, I don't have to figure it out. Saves me energy, see? So when we emphasize that pattern, okay, I don't have to be paying attention to it. Like in this pattern of me changing, the pattern of me being less angry, being less unhappy, being less miserable, less worrying, whatever you want to change, right? Start to do and then make it a pattern, and then use that pattern for emphasis and keep doing it. And then also awareness and understanding. Like, oh, you know what? I really have changed. That means I can change. Because when we start on some of these things, we don't truly believe we can change. But when we have a pattern of changing, even if it's only 3-4 times, that's proof that you have changed, which is proof that you can change, which therefore means that the likelihood that you will change is high. And now you have this emphasis. I have changed. I can change. Oh, more emphasis. I will change. More emphasis. Feeds on itself. Very, very, very powerful. Yes, exactly. Pattern is the emphasis. But we need to pay attention to it to make it emphasis, right? We want to deliberately emphasize pattern as proof of change, right? So that's the key, is proof of change, emphasis. It's all about the emphasis. You got to find some way to emphasize something that's genuine. that's why we can't be involved in BS, and because BS is just lying to everybody else, including yourself, and it's not real. And if it's not real, your brain won't be able to use it in the right way. Yeah, it's a terrible system. It's a terrible system. So this is a very cool way for self-change. Yeah, Bina, any comments here? I want to get
just
something to drink.
love
So
what you guys were sharing. And as Norma says, pattern is the emphasis of change.
yeah.
Yes,
Or
but
can
also
be. It's not necessarily. If we pay attention,
This is
we have
exactly
to
what
pay
I'm saying.
attention. Yeah.
Yes. And pattern, brain like patterns, as you said, that it is energy efficient. That's why I was whenever it comes to habits are a mechanism to save energy. Our mind wants to save energy, and that's why we develop patterns, and patterns are
Exactly.
simple behavior habits. But of course, every habit should not become a should. I don't know how to say that, but actually, this is how it mostly end up. That habits become shoulds for us, and this is where they become real enemy for us.
Yes. Just by the way, I was being a hooligan off camera there.
Okay.
I was drinking from the bottle.
Okay.
I was very thirsty, and I don't want to go up and get out of the thing. So it was right here in Andy. So okay, there's just a little bit left. So
Okay, that's good.
Anyway, I was having fun with it. I was having fun with it too. I just enjoying being a hooligan, So. But at least I was a polite hooligan, right? I went off camera to do that. Just having fun. Yes, Norma, I have changed emphasis. To emphasize changing emphasis is like magic. It's like, magic on top of magic. It's too fantastic. Yeah. It is really, really profound. And that's what you did today, right, Norma? You were focusing on something, emphasizing it, and it was putting you into a particular shape and a mood. But then you said, this is what you shared with me. I'm just abstracting, right? I don't want to give any personal stuff away, but just in the abstract. Then you said you shifted your focus and you put your emphasis somewhere else. You put your emphasis on appreciation and joy and moreness and love and goodness. And then you changed. Your emotions changed. Your mood changed. What's so fascinating about moods is and perceptions, they work together. So mood affects how we perceive. You say, but why would that make any difference? You think logically, like a computer or an alien might not understand this. So, but the world is the world regardless of your mood. The world doesn't change, it stays the same. But you wake up in a bad mood, and all of a sudden the world, or at least when you do wake up in a mood, the world is full of evil people and horrible people, and it sucks, and it's a terrible place, and oh gosh, I'm living in hell. But you wake up in a good mood. Oh, the world is a wonderful place. I love the world. The world is beautiful. I want to kiss everybody and hug everybody and marry everybody, and the world is just wonderful. All right, you might not go to that extreme, but okay. I'm making the point, having some fun, right? So, but now your perception of the world, like if we were to put somebody who wakes up in a good mood, right, on a lie detector and ask them how they perceive the world, right? And they say, the world's a fantastic place. The world is marvelous. The world is just great. They're not asking how they feel about the world. They're saying, how is the world? The world is a great place. And the lie detector says, yes, truth, right? But when they wake up in a bad mood, say, what kind of a place is the world? Oh, the world's a terrible place. The lie detector says, check. He's telling the truth. Or she. See my point? The internal perception of what is real, what is reality, has changed based on mood. The actual reality has stayed the same, of course. The world hasn't changed between yesterday and today, and you woke up. Yeah. So it is incredible. And you can do this. Let's assume you do wake up in a not so fun mood, and the world sucks. And then you change your own mood. You say, wow, a few seconds ago the world was a sucky place, and now suddenly the world is a good place. How did that happen? The world changed. The world changed from the moment when I was feeling in a bad mood till now. The world suddenly changed. I didn't notice it. I was so busy working on my mood. But wow, the world actually changed. It's a different place now. The world didn't change, Namsko. You changed your mood. And your mood changed your perception. So to be aware of this, that perception is profoundly affected and influenced by mood, is life-changing. It's life-changing, 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 life-changing. Ramsey, any comments? Haven't heard from you. Sarah, where did you go? I'm keen to hear from you too. Yes. And as a yoga teacher, you can utilize the
I'm right here.
mechanism of mood changing through changing the body, the physicality, the stance, the posture, the face, and walk. So face, stance, posture, and walk, those four.
Yeah.
We use those four terms both figuratively and literally. So when we say somebody's lost face, yeah,
Lost face or lost faith?
lost face, lost face, yeah.
Okay.
Right. This means that they've lost respect. They've lost recognition, cognition, standing, etc. Right, and they internally now feel bad about themselves. Blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah.
But this is because when somebody's done something, which causes them to lose face, some egregious act that they were, shouldn't have done, whatever the case may be. Right. Their physical face actually changes, which changes their moods and emotions, which is where the expression comes from, right? So
Yes.
your whole being, your reality is changed by how you hold your face. Same thing to a whole stance, right? He's taken a stance in life. Well, this is
Right.
a physical thing. And your posture, the same thing. Well, he's got a defeatist posture. No wonder he doesn't get anywhere. How often haven't you heard somebody say that? No? See? So, and same thing with your walk. If you're going to walk all pathetically and hopelessly and the world is oh man, I'm a victim. Well, that's how you're going to feel. Change your walk, change your life. Change your posture, change your life. Change your stance, change your life. Change your face, change your life.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
right in
yoga.
the process of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying though, as a yoga teacher, I feel that if you make this more clear to people, that their physical changes, if done with the intent, not just for exercise, but with the intent to adopt a particular mood through the posture, the stance, the walk, add face into your physical, but mostly yoga is posture and stance.
Right. Well, they teach you a lot to relax your mouth. And
Exactly.
To relax your tongue.
Exactly. So change your face is part of yoga. It's a crucial aspect of yoga.
Right.
And I would include, if I were a yoga teacher, I would include walking around the yoga class to start and maybe to end. To say, okay, walk, relaxed, walk in a gentle way.
I appreciate
walk
you
in a
saying this because I've got
soothing
to
way.
come up with a sequence.
Yeah.
Okay.
But start with that, right? Try it
Okay.
in your next yoga class. Say, all right, so what we're going to do today is just walk around the edge of the classroom, right? Everyone behind each other, but walk soothingly. Like you're an actor in a role and your character is walking to soothe everybody, including themselves, right? They're walking to soothe.
Like a meditational walk.
Exactly, but you're walking with an intent. It's the intent that's the key, and specifically an intent for a particular emotion. Like, okay, it can be soothing, it can be relaxing.
There it is again.
Can be joyful, can pick different moods, different days, just to keep it interesting. But this is a profound thing. It will change your whole yoga class. Now everybody's in a soothed mood. Okay, now to do your exercises, you already got your emotions to be appropriate for doing what's maybe challenging and difficult. Yes. And so you can say, now apply that mood to your yoga. Be soothing towards being able to do the postures or not, right? If you can't do them, you can't do them. Don't worry about it, right? And do as best you can and soothe yourself, saying, that's it. As best you can, that's all you can do. Doesn't matter. Right? And then to take the same thing, to say these postures are to get to feel in specific ways. So maybe share how you feel. Okay, it's going to be a noisy yoga class, but still, so, when they're doing downward dog, what particular thing do you feel? If you can figure out what those intents of those postures are, you're going to have a breakthrough in your awareness. It's going to be a very profound thing. They all have a particular intent to them, which most people aren't aware of. But anyway, it's just a different way of doing your class. But the walk will start. I don't know if you want to have people share what they say or not, but it's just a fun bonus thing to do maybe. But still, the walking will change the whole class because it will get them in the right spirit and mood. And they're going to be astounded at how much they can change their mood simply by changing their walk. You know, that thing where we say, walk it off, walk it off. Okay, usually it's
Yeah.
like with an injury. But if you take that same thing with emotions, it's incredible. You feeling annoyed or angry, walk it off. Change your walk. Soon it'll go
Well,
away.
and I think that's probably why I took some time to myself to really
There you
just kind of
go.
after
Wonderful.
I completed all my yoga immersion weekends and all of the
Yeah.
classroom time that I had to do, I really
Yeah.
just needed to take time to walk it off for a
There
minute so
you
that I
go.
could come back with my special project.
Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really fantastic. Too wonderful. Too wonderful. It's so important. So important. So important. So now it's Bina's turn to drop off. It's no way it goes. No way it goes. Different days. Different days. So
So
come
I
back, Bina.
start my day with walking my dog intentionally.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Now, when you walk your dog, see if you can emulate the walk of the dog.
Okay.
All right. Now that's the
No,
obviously a
I
dog's got
love
4
this
legs and you got
concept.
2.
It's okay. Because
It's
she likes to
fantastic.
stop and sniff and it drives me nuts.
Right. But now change and get into dog psychology. What is that dog doing? It's saying, man, here's something interesting. Here's something. The
Yeah.
dog is in the now. It's the same damn stuff every day, but it's treating it as if it's new. Is there any reason that you cannot do this?
No.
None. Precisely. So if you emulate your dog, you're going to have an incredible walk. Every day it's going to be this magical walk like you've never walked it before. It's
Okay.
quite possible. It's quite possible to do. We only assume it's not so because on a base thing, but we
Right.
can reset ourselves. We can come at things as if they knew simply because we want to, because we get into the habit of doing it. It's a
Yeah.
magical thing. It's a very powerful skill. It's like, you can ask Bina. We go over the same material with participants in Way-of-Impeccability all the time. It never gets old. Never, ever, ever. We can do it over and
Okay.
over and over again. Doesn't matter.
So I
right?
started to transition because I carry my water bottle with me. And instead of
Brilliant.
getting upset, I would use it as a chance to drink my water and let her sniff.
There you go. There you go. Now
But
don't
that
drink
is
water.
a transitional moment. Now, if I actually transition to follow my dog and walk my dog's walk, I'm ready
Exactly.
to do it.
Exactly. And also that water bottle, don't fill it with water. Every time you go to the tap, you fill it with joy, fill it with eagerness, fill it with enthusiasm, fill it with curiosity, fill it with wonder, fill it with awe, fill it with something wonderful every different day, or every day, fill it with joy. It doesn't matter. You can never get enough joy. So
Right.
when you're drinking, you're not drinking water, you're drinking joy.
Okay. I get that. I get that because it's discussed in several other concepts. And
It's emphasis, and emphasis is intimately connected to association. We think we're drinking water, but the moment you start drinking joy, wow, you're going to say, whoa, this is huge. This is awesome, right? The brain is incredible when it comes to associations. So we can reassociate everything instead of labeling everything boring, 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 annoying, annoying, annoying. Start relabeling it. Awesome, fantastic, brilliant, interesting, whatever. Just keep relabeling stuff, and soon you live in a different world.
okay.
It's incredible.
And
It's incredible.
that is the transitional process.
Exactly. And it's just a matter of paying attention to doing it and knowing, understanding that you've got to overcome habits. And in order to overcome habits, we have to have sustained, deliberate action. It's very important. And especially with habits, sometimes we've got to apply overbending. So I don't have, let me see if I can find something to illustrate here. All right, well, I'll just use my box opening knife here. So if I were to take this blade and bend it further, right, and actually succeed in having it bent and be a little curved like that, right? Let's just assume I jammed it in and it was actually bent, right? In order to bend it straight again, right, I'm going to have to take that curved part and I'm going to have to bend it till it gets straight like this. But then if I let go, where's it going to go? It's going to go back down to being over here somewhere. Let's assume it was bent all the way down to here, correct? So if I bend it to straight, then it'll come back to here. So in order to get it straight, I have to go past straight and then, bend it past this point and then let it go. And then it comes to straight. Yes, that I call that overbending. And it's a very profound concept. When we become distorted, we can't just do the normal. We have to overbend in order to get back to normal. And the habits we don't want are such a bentness, such a distortion, right? I mean, there's even a term in English to say he's bent. He's a bent character. It means you're out of shape. You a little bit messed up, and typically, but grumpy, unhappy, miserable, criminal, whatever. Bent. Yeah, you distorted. So we have this in little ways we bent, and in order to unbend, we have to overbend. Yes, to get back to normal. Very profound concept, particularly with habits. So
I
know
think
that you're
that's
going to
right
have to be
where
a little
I'm
bit
at. Like,
obsessive.
okay. Yeah.
Say again?
Yep. I think it's exactly where
Yes,
I'm
Norma.
at, is I'm having to overbend in order to bring it back.
Exactly. And that's very important to understand this concept of overbending, because we think to come back to normal, we must just be normal. No. When we've had exaggeration, we have to have counter exaggeration to bring it back to normal. Yes, we can do this with illness also. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And as illness is really difficult because it's very hard to bend in healthiness, to be super healthy in order to combat illness. So we just have to get that little tiny increments and go there and get as close to normal as possible, and then go slightly more. So you keep doing it a little more. So illness is very incremental. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But this overbending is a ridiculously powerful concept when it comes to habits. And it's really, really huge. That's why most people don't succeed in getting out of their negativity, because they just get back to normal and they think, well, I'm back to normal. No, you still have that bend there, right? Because you bent all the way down and now you're going to normal, but it springs back to somewhere in the
Yeah.
middle and it
Okay.
sits there with you. It's residual, right? So we have to overbend to get it to normal. Very powerful concept. Very, very powerful. All right. I think on that note there, since Venus also left it, I think this is a really cool note. I'm actually going to end the live today. Normally we go a little longer, and actually, the purpose of these lives is to read the story and get more into it. But we got into other things today, which is, again, we don't have to do anything, and we're free to do whatever we like. So I think I'm going to end it there today. It's a very
Sorry
cool
for
point to
ending
end on.
your
Oh,
story.
no. I'm choosing. I mean, I could go on. We could just jump topic, but
Yeah.
I like to leave on a strong point. And this point of overbending, because it's a particular type of an emphasis again connected to those habits, incremental change, face, body, stance. We have to overbend sometimes in our physicality too, which is what yoga is. Physical overbending. Yeah. Isn't it, Sarah?
Thanks for the coaching.
Absolute pleasure. It's such a joy. It's just discussion to me, but it's a joy. Norma, Ramsey, any comments before I go? So cool that you came, Sarah. I just love it. And your willingness to step out. So yeah, practice your friends, walk some more, and you'll really get an insight into them through feeling them. Yeah, but be
Okay.
careful. Be careful. You may find out stuff you don't want to know sometimes.
Right.
Like when people walk their parents, they are sometimes shocked. It's like, oh, yeah, because most people think they know their parents, but they have no clue. Oh, a pleasure, Norma. A pleasure. All right. Love you, Sarah. We'll see you again sometime. Too brilliant.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.